everyone, and welcome to a very special Wellness Wheel Wednesday. I'm Dr. Vera and my clinic name is Advanced Wellness Chiropractor, and I'm a chiropractor. But today I have with me Jodi Zabludowski and Darla Zuk, and they're from Easter Seals. So we can all relate to stress in our lives, especially if the stress is coming from something very emotional in our life, a very stressful event. It can really cause some aches and pains in the body. So what we do on Wellness Wheel Wednesday is we just explore different avenues of how we can lessen some of those emotional stresses to make sure that our bodies have a little bit less aches and pains. But before we get into that, I was just told that Easter Seals is going to be celebrating its 67th year. But I'm left wondering how many people even remember what Easter Seals does. So that's what I'm going to just ask. What is Easter Seals doing? And maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that and how Easter Seals helps lessen emotional stresses. Jodi.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Dr. Vera. Easter Seals has been around since 1951, and it started with the advent of polio, and we help children and adults with disabilities and medical conditions of all ages and all disabilities. We have 3 outstanding programs, one of which really reduces stress because we help people with equipment needs. So for instance, if someone needs a power wheelchair because they are not able to get it through the government of Alberta, they come to us, as well as a mobility scooter to help them get around into the community. We also have Camp Horizon, Easter Seals Camp Horizon, which Darla will elaborate on in a few moments, and Easter Seals McQueen Residence, where we have 9 young adults with disabilities who live at this group home.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So just a quick question about these equipment. So how does one access this, or how is it, how do you determine who gets the equipment and who qualifies? And because I'm sure that's a big financial commitment for
it is a big
families to provide for this. So can you guide me through the process, how a family could apply, or what are the criteria, or how did they get it?
You know, I noticed on your wheel, one of the spokes of the wheel is financial well-being. And a cost of a power wheelchair can be anywhere from $7,500 to $14,000. That causes a lot of financial stress. And when you're in financial stress, it actually affects other areas of your body. So when people, they say, what should I do? We need this power wheelchair. Very often we get referrals from occupational therapists. And they apply. We have caseworkers in our office in Edmonton and Calgary. And there's an application process, so we check financial need. We make sure that there's a doctor's note that goes along as a referral. And then they go on a list, and then we provide them with a power wheelchair. If we pay more than 50% of it, then Easter Seals owns it, and then we can recycle it out to the next person. So we do have a recycling program. Sometimes we get donations of power wheelchairs if someone passes away, and then we fix it up, get it going, and we give it out to the next person on the waiting list that fits those criteria.
Yeah. How big is that waiting list?
Oh, right now we have over 70 people across the province waiting for equipment. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a long waiting list. But that's okay. We fundraise, and we get donations in from people. So we try to help as many people as we possibly can. Last year, we were able to help over 214 people with equipment needs.
Hey, that's a great number. That's better. That's more than 70. So
yeah,
awesome.
I know, it's really great. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And at our group home, it is stressful to have a disability. Let's face it, it's really not easy. But what happens is they pay room and board, and we have personal care attendants, healthcare aides that work at McQueen Residence, located on 144th Street and 107th Avenue. And so they're able to go and live their lives almost as stress-free as possible. I mean, it's not easy to have a disability, but because we take care of their personal needs and their personal care, they can volunteer, they can get out into the community, they can be as independent as possible.
What types of disabilities, because I guess it's a big umbrella, so I'm just wondering who gets to to be at McQueen House? Like what kind of disability?
There is a waiting list, and Alberta Health Services helps put the person into the McQueen when there is a vacancy. Most of the residents, they have cerebral palsy or multiple sclerosis, MS. Most of those type of disabilities, Okay. Now I know Darla wanted to talk about the Easter Seals Camp Horizon.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it is.
Stress-free zone for kids, and maybe some rest and relax time for some parents.
Absolutely, yeah. We've actually had Camp Horizon running for over 53 years.
Ooh,
it's a beautiful, beautiful camp that's nuzzled in Kananaskis country.
Even nicer.
And it's an amazing program that allows a child to spend 1 week away from home and with other children that are experiencing the same effects that a disease or disability happens. So they're, when a child goes to school and they're a little bit different, sometimes they don't always fit in. And at Camp Horizon, they go there, they spend a week, they realize they're not on their own. So for a child, the stress, stress starts at a very young age. Probably the time we enter the world till we get old. But at camp, we are able to take away those stresses. They build friendships that last a lifetime. They get to do all kinds of great activities, from canoeing to horseback riding. We have a big swing, an obstacle wall, and a pool. Some children have never been able to get into a pool, and we have it accessible for and to be able to float. There, we had one of our ambassadors, that was the highlight of what they did at camp. And it also gives the parents that 1 week break to go and be husband and wife, and knowing that their child is in a safe, active, and an excellent environment takes the stress off both. And we've seen some of our youth ambassadors are campers, and they still go year to year, and that is their highlight. They get to go to a camp because if you do have a disability or a medical condition, you can't always be taken care of like the way they are at Camp Horizon. So we have everything set up for them. We've built 2 new dorms lately, so to be more accessible, and I just love the camp. The campers, the kids love it. They build relationships for a lifetime.
That does sound really sweet. You're right. Emotional stress. Just in the technique that I practice, the majority of emotional stresses actually comes from the tender ages of between 2 and 6.
Yeah.
So a lot of those bad, let's not call them bad, but more stronger emotional events that can come from that period. Like, you're processing the world through limited resources, and so they can really hurt and leave some lasting effects, lasting stress in the body. So that's really nice that there's a camp where it's almost relatively stress-free, where everybody is for surely welcomed.
And they just have a blast. That's a nice thing too, is they're not worrying about what's happening at home. They're at a camp that they can just get away on their own and be around kids, and they grow. They grow relationships. It's amazing to see when they come out of camp what they've learned, their confidence. And all those, you take away those stresses, and all of a sudden you just see them grow and grow into a stronger person.
So how many kids can go to this camp?
We have over 1,200 each year that attend camp.
So it must cycle weekly.
It does. It cycles once a week, and we have different organizations come and use our camp. We also do have an adult camp. It's a Christmas camp that happens at Christmas, and there's always a waiting list for it for the adults, because sometimes the adults don't have anybody around anymore, and it gives them a chance to be and enjoy
really
camp.
Nice. So it's during the Christmas period, Christmas itself.
And that festive festive season.
Oh, it must be so beautiful. It's still like Kananaskis.
Yeah, gorgeous there.
1,200 kids. So again, what kind of, because disability is a really broad term. It can be physical disabilities as well as some mental disabilities. Are both?
All.
Yeah. We have an ostomy camp.
Yeah.
We have an ostomy camp. We have kids with Crohn's and colitis.
Okay.
So all different types of disabilities and special needs.
Are they
developmental disabilities?
Are they all together?
No, they're week-long camps.
For the
they're together. Specific. We have a burn camp.
Okay.
Yeah, and our ambassador this year, Kendall Dan Cox, she goes to Camp Fireworks, and she has epilepsy. So she's around other children that are there, and she loves it absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so each camp has its own name. So Camp Fireworks is
one of them. Yeah, that's out there for epilepsy, and we have different camps for Camp Gotta Go, colitis.
Camp Got to Go.
Colitis.
Camp Got to Go.
Is colitis.
Yeah.
That's pretty
And
clever.
Crohn's,
That's
so
nice that
yeah.
it's almost light, like a lightness around some of those names. So if I were a parent and I had a child with one of these umbrellas of disability, and I've never heard or didn't realize that Easter Seals has this ability to, like, do I just call Easter Seals?
The best thing is to check out the website, honestly.
Yeah, okay.
easterseals.ab.ca, and in there you can see all the different programs are highlighted, and Easter Seals Camp Horizon has its own page within the website.
But how do I access it? Like, can I just, I think what I'm asking is, do I need a referral? Do I need my doctor to say this child, or I can just be Dr. Vera applying to...
I believe
so
a parent can just apply.
Based on a referral for this case.
Right,
not
exactly.
for the it's basically the parent will apply based on the criteria of what they're looking for that particular week and what their child, we like to call it ability, has to come to camp and be around the other children in with that similar situation.
If parents are thinking about next summer, when are these camps running? From May till September?
Yeah, exactly. From May till September.
Okay. And
you can actually, people can rent out the camp during the off season as well. We've had quite a few weddings at Camp Horizon.
Corporate events.
It's such a beautiful facility.
Sweet. So, but it's under Easter Seal has built and owns it, and but other people can just simply go there and use it.
Rent it out. Yeah.
Nice. So, if I wanted to put my child into a camp, then are you recommending I contact you now? Because I'm assuming there must be a wait list now for these camps as well.
Yeah, there's going to be a time when it's going to be open for registration.
I see. So when the spring. The spring is usually
I think it's going to be even earlier, but
probably.
The date will be. It's on the website as to when they're open for registration. Yeah.
So check the website.
Yeah.
I have a bit of, maybe you can help me with this. So my mother and another patient of mine that I know of collect the
popcorn tabs.
Is that related to what you do?
There is a program called Tabs for Wheels.
Yeah.
And just so happens they're very kind people, and then they donate. They collect the tabs. It takes 9 million tabs for one scooter. Every 2 to 3 years, they provide us with the funding for us to buy a scooter on their behalf.
Wow, that's
9 million tabs.
Wow, that's a lot of tabs. I would love to see what 9 million tabs looks like. Hey? Somebody needs to take a picture of that.
Yeah.
So if we, let's say, started a dish or a bowl here, I can just give it to Easter Seals?
Yes, you can just give it to Easter Seals. Yeah, we'll make sure it gets to the right place.
Yeah. What about, maybe you can help me with this one, caps? Water bottle caps?
No, that we don't do.
No. Okay.
Because they melt down the tabs, and that's how they get.
Take it to a still
Why
company.
the tab and not the can itself?
Because it doesn't have the...
It's not pure.
Yeah.
I see. So the tab is just
pure.
different, and it's pure. Is there any other thing that can add,
I
like,
think
tabs?
that when you have cats and you feed them
Those tins?
the lids of when you feed cats, I think those are good.
The tab on that one as well.
Just the cat
tab.
one?
The tab. You know how you pull?
But any tab in general, any tab from any food,
right? Exactly. Yeah,
like a dog can,
the tab.
soup
It has to be a
can,
tab. Yeah.
Tab. Yeah. Got it. Well, that's a nice thing. Trina, I think we're going to start that. We're going to have a fishbowl tab.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That sounds like something fun. Okay. Is there
so
anything else?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So we have a client. He's in his 40s. Has fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
We provided him with a scooter. He hasn't actually gone out of his apartment in 10 years unless he has help from his family.
Oh, wow.
So finally we were able to get him a scooter.
Yeah.
And he was so grateful. He says it's the first time in 10 years, he went to the library and he was so grateful. He was almost crying. Now for you and I to go to the library, it's nothing. But for someone like that, it's something. So my question is, it's someone with fibromyalgia, is that someone you can help?
Definitely. I do have very many people with fibromyalgia. It's one of their, it's on the list of their history complaints, which definitely crescendos or magnifies their pain presentation. It's still it still helps. So what I've noticed as we're progressing through a treatment plan with TRT is just the pain overall begins to lessen and lessen and lessen to the point where they're functioning practically normal.
That's great.
It's
That's
really
great.
nice. It's one of those things. I feel for people with fibromyalgia because it's kind of like, you know, you can't see it, but it's there, and it's quite debilitating.
It's very painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was happy that we were able to help this person.
What a great story. So nice to see the world again.
And when, you know, he sends his thank you letter, you almost feel like crying when you see it, because we're grateful that we're able to help this person, and he's grateful that he was able to be the recipient. He says he's going to treat the piece of equipment as if he paid for it out of his own pocket.
Oh, what a nice statement. That just, it's so lovely.
It is really nice.
Well, I could imagine not being able to get out in the community.
Yeah.
Like and to be able to do that. Wow. That would be a remarkable.
And we just take it for so.
We take it for granted. Going out, being independent, going where we want to go, and for people, it's really special for them to be able to do that.
So it's like a nice. What a wonderful present. Nice present you guys provide.
Thank you. We really wake up every day and feel good and put a smile on my face that you're making a difference every day.
You have a great
Working
job.
for Easter Seals.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Easter Seals, both Jodi and Darla, for coming out today.
And thank you for inviting us.
Dr. Vera. Thank you for taking the time.
So we'll see you next week for another episode of Wellness Wheel Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.